like when all that knowledge I had, all that research I've done is out the window. I'm not really sure what's left to go on. So, memes it is. But
Right.
we are live at the first round.
We are indeed. It looks like it's going to be Capoeira who's starting on the T side. And coming into this, I think a lot of people would probably edge with the CTs being the stronger team here in terms of individual performers. But of course, you have to throw some of that out the window purely off the basis of, well, how do you acknowledge the teamwork or lack thereof? You know, like how do you know how they're going to come into this one? But it's going to be a fast push from Fallen. He's going to be taking point for his team. He'll be taking quite a bit of damage from all sides, it would appear. Let me just fix that HUD there for you guys so you can see the health and such. But it's going to be Edward that picks up the first frag, and already the CTs have taken some serious damage, but they are firing back with Season Colds. They are both picking up USB headshots, keeping the Dream alive, but Fallen's going to take that away somewhat. Bomb drop just ahead of him. Simple's trying to lock it off from the CT side of boxes. But this fight, man, Dust, they're all so low in health. How did the CTs pull this off?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, CT's got in great position because they pushed upper B, got info pretty quick that the bomb was not there, and were able to quickly rotate. But like you said, they've taken a lot of damage. But Coldzera has a nice little flank going on here in the Palace, and the bomb still hasn't gotten planted yet. The pressure from C's on Connector is still really preventing Fallen from being able to get this down. They're not even sure where the other player is. They have no idea where Cold is. They're thinking about CT spawn. They're actually pressing into it, maybe trying to see if they can't run the B, but Cold has now peeked out. He's taken down Taco, so now it's all on Fallen. Still got a little bit of time left, but he's kind of trapped.
Yeah, up on the triple box as well. It's a bit of a precarious position. Time itself is ticking against him on top of that. He's going to try the plant, but C's can peek around. Actually, they're going to just straight up give this plant away and try and retake afterwards. So, Fallen, I was about to say he was looking in a horrible place, gets a bit of a lifeline, is taken away from the no from Coldzera, and somehow the CTs, who were getting wrecked early on in the rounds, bounce back and take it for themselves.
Yeah, that flank from Coldzera came up huge. I mean, he was able to deny the plant originally when there was about 40 seconds left on the clock, and then right there, as soon as Fallen planted Cold, able to get out. I think Fallen was maybe hoping that Cold had retreated from Palace and was actually going back around to A ramp, but not going to be the case. Didn't get the read. So there you have it. Uchiha is going to be up 1-0, and we're going to see a 5-deagle setup now from the boys over on the T side. No armor or nades, though. Just looking for the aim battles.
Oh, man. Auto Director's having a nightmare again. You have to take over the observing duties. Cue the salt in chat. First frag going to go to Showtime. Looks like, I think this is Guardian who's in window. Changed his name. I'm judging this off his avatar picture, of course, for Uchiha. But it's going to be all on FNX anyway, who is trying to deal with Guardian in mid. But there's just too many CTs up in his face. Down he goes. Quick 2-0. Capoeira have the funds to maybe go for some kind of a half buy, but the decision to be made here.
Yeah, we are going to see some Tech 9s come out on pretty much everyone except for Edward, who's going to get a P250 armor out as well, and a few flashbangs also in play. We see them all loading up inside the upper B apartment, so it seems like they're just going to try to spill out here. C's is going to throw a little bit of a smoke inside the apartments to try to slow this down. It's actually a deeper smoke, and it lands pretty well, so that's a pretty consistent smoke there. Nice little nade placement. He's actually going to go ahead and spam through as well. And here comes the push. He's running out of bullets. He's going to get chased down.
Yeah, just far too much firepower up in his face. Seized, did do a bit of damage towards Taco, but the bomb being planted is going to be a real pain in the backside, especially considering their firepower. Very good for staving off the initial charges. Not the greatest for retaking with, especially considering that Guardian has an AWP. It is Guardian, however, and he is one of the best aggressive AWPers in this kind of a situation. He is going to be pushing with his partner in prime of Simple. And here they come from the short side. Edward on the site. FNX to the left-hand side. He's going to get the frag, and that's on Coldzera to come around the backside. There's too many angles for him to cover, though. Now it's all on Guardian. He's got the P250. He's doing damage. Nearly lands a nice fast shot. But he is going to bite the dust. And, well, Capoeira bring it back with Tech 9s ultimately. Very nice round.
Yeah, it was just, C's trying to throw some spam through the smoke, got low on the ammo, and, there was really no one to support him. So once he went down, it was a free bomb site. So a round coming in maybe a little bit earlier than expected from Capoeira. And because of this, Uchiha is actually going to be on a force buy, right? I mean, they're going to get some deagles and utility. They still have the op on Simple. He's going to come out with it and finds the opening pick on the Fallen. And so maybe, just maybe, he's actually trying to see if he can't steal it right back and tie this thing up.
Okay. Brilliant. Why not?
Why not?
Somehow people have found out the IP, so
Indeed.
excellent.
Apparently, we also now have a Somalian pirate in the game.
Now, I know that didn't get leaked from our point of view, so
I'm the captain now, Metis.
I don't know what happens now if we switch servers or what, but it looks like they're going to continue in with this round at least. And try and get the action underway. First couple of frags have gone, but it is going to be a 3 for 3. Simple looking for the frag, lands it, headshots down FNX, and is looking for the next one onto Taco, who's peeking out of Palace, very narrowly misses a shot, gets it on the second time of asking, and now it's all down to Edwards in a 1 on... What is even happening here?
I have no idea.
I can't even change players for some reason. There we go, now I can.
Yeah, indeed, funny situation. Now they're beginning to try to add some stuff to the server to apparently, maybe we're going to see a reset in the server as well. I think everything's frozen for me. Is it frozen for you as well?
Yeah. I was wondering what was happening. It was like
That's
laggy
a
as hell
rip.
for me.
That's
Laggy
a
as hell.
rip.
Couldn't change players, couldn't do anything. Brilliant.
Brilliant.
Is it, by the looks of things, Edward just pulled off a sick 1v3 clutch, but he couldn't even
It was
switch
quite
his
overshadowed by the Lord and Savior himself, Harambe.
perspective. Oh.
Did you know that they found his tomb empty yesterday, Harambe?
Really?
Yeah. Maybe he'll spend the next 40 days and 40 nights walking the earth, you know? Alright. Looks like we have the rosters back in order now. As Uchi is once again going to be on a bit of a save here. Actually, funny enough, Season Cold are actually playing their normal CT positions for Uchiha, so at least you're seeing like some people play spots they're used to playing, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose that probably will come down to just out of comfort, honestly. Obviously, the players having a bit of fun with this, but also playing semi-seriously. All I see right now is like a bar stool in the middle of short, what Caesar stood next to. I don't even at this point. There's literally, it looks like a drummer's stool. It's just there on catwalk.
Oh yeah, I just saw that.
Caesar's like, "What's up, bro? I'm gonna play a drum solo. Deal with it." What's happening?
I am not sure.
Just a random chair out of nowhere.
I don't know if maybe one of the people who joined the server in the last round put that there and no one noticed it. Because you can like put up props and whatnot if SV cheats are on, I suppose.
Jeez. This is how I'll really mess with them, boys. I'll put a random chair on short. Get wrecked. What? All right,
If it's a
mate.
solid object, it could get in the way and mess someone up in the middle of a round or something, actually. So it could be interesting. Could see how that plays out.
And Cold Zero, 1v4. Two players not too far from death, but full weapons against a P250 with the bomb plant. This, ladies and gents, is all ogre. And there we go. It's Edward who lands the final headshot. 3-2 for the Capoeiras.
We're finally going to see money back on the CT side, though, so we'll see them back in action. Though they won't actually have any ops in play, I don't believe. I don't think there was enough money there, and we are going to see Cold on just a FAMAS, so they are going to be a little bit under the weather, but they should still be able to put up some type of defense. Looks like you're going to see Guardian and Simple both get aggressive on window and actually jump down into middle. Edward will be posted up here. See if he's going to get caught off guard or not. Meanwhile, we do have Taco and Fallen playing over towards A and 2 into the apartments. And Edward actually does catch that push from Simple, so that's a nice little start here for the men over at Capoeira.
You can see Simple going hyper-aggressive. Lack of grenades on the side of the CTs, maybe feeling forced into this scenario. But of course, losing the first player is very, very much detrimental. Forces them to split up, pretty much give up mid-control, barring Guardian, who is there in Connector. But they are maybe feeling pressured to go for a bit of more information gathering here, Does, considering they only have 3 flashes to play with, like nothing else. No kits. If the bomb does go down, it's going to be a very difficult retake.
Yeah, indeed it is. You still see Seized and Cold over here in the B. Cold is jump spotting up at B apartments to see if anyone's going to show themselves, but so far not. Meanwhile, Fallen taking over mid control with that op is to be able to just walk up the catwalk, maybe even look into a peek into Connector, but we do see Guardian, you know, thinking about peeking out here. He does. There is an exchange of fire, but no one goes down. Guardian able to get out of there. Taco trying to catch the fallback from Palace, but it's not happening, but Fallen has picked up Seized. So now it's a 5-on-3. Mom is making its way into the site. Cold's already beginning to kind of rotate in the market, so he might get caught out of position, but he gets back in. We're going to see them start swarming this B-bomb site.
Just good for the one frag though, Dust. So that's going to be the one planted in the worst case scenario comes to fruition. Vincere trying to retake. Now to 1-on-4. Fallen landing the headshot. In fact, not even the headshot, just the chest shot with the AWP onto Guardian. He's already done plenty of work in this round to frags, but 2 massively impactful kills. And now Showtime has a very difficult task ahead of him. 2 players could very much be picked off. Edward, the second of these, he's already taken out Flamey. But the problem is the other 2 terrorists, and the fact is he doesn't even have enough time to get the bomb defused. So Capoeira are going to extend their lead further yet, taking a 4-2 lead. And right now, pretty even across the board in terms of frags. Not necessarily standing out for good or ill reasons. But Edward is top fragging with 8 for 2. And he was a monster yesterday, Dust. I don't know if you caught it, but in the first half, on Mirage, on the CT side, he dropped 24 frags.
Edward's actually been in good form, you know, for a lot this year, I would say. I think his performance really stepping up has been big because we know that Guardian's kind of had his troubles at times. And it's really the step up in play from guys like Edward that's been so big for this team lately, I feel like. So it's good to see him. You know, yeah, it's a fun, you know, show match series, but it's cool to see him with good individual form. He was a big part of the last round they won, holding that mid-pressure. And now we see Uchiha just on another save, and it seems like it's going to be cleaned up pretty quickly. So we should see it go 5-2. In favor of Capoeira. And we'll just have to see what Uchiha can come up with, because so far they've had their economy kind of wrecked a couple of times, and their aggression hasn't really panned out. So maybe they're going to, you know, sit back a bit more, maybe try to put some ops into play. They have plenty of money now for several ops. Like I said, there's 5 players on this team who could op at any given time, so we'll see where they come out at.
Yeah, for sure. For those of you asking in chat as well, if you just joined, you're like, what the hell's going on here? I thought it was NAVi against SK. It is. They're just mixed up and have assumed different names. So, yeah, I've completely mixed down, as you can see. Simple Coldzera. Guardian is Itachi, by the way. Season Showtime on the CTs. Edward Fall and Taco Flamey and FNX will be filling things out on the terrorist side of things. So far, it has been Capoeira who've really been running away with this, but as Dust mentioned, they have had a couple of issues of Uchiha with their economy. This is going to be a buy round with double AWPs in play, but already they've ate quite a bit of damage, so this is a bit of a red light for Uchiha.
Yeah, Showtime from underneath the bounty is actually able to get the kill on the Taco. Simple also chiming with the out from jungle, so this attack's actually already been slowed down quite a bit. And the bomb's actually just sitting at A-Ramp. There's still a lot of time left, but they're already a man down. They're looking for Edward to come up middle, see if he can open something up. But Simple has caught him right away, so this round is pretty much crumbled for Capoeira.
Yeah, a little bad at the start, didn't it? Both Simple and Showtime took a lot of damage, and I was fearing the worst for them. But fair play, they've held fast. They got the frags where it counted, and now the bomb, which is being dropped, allowing FNX to playing aggressively. But that's just going to be into his demise. Is Simple from CT boxes has it locked alongside Guardian on the staircase, and just like that, Uchiha have pulled back around in an emphatic style. Losing no players, this is going to do the world of good to their economy. They can build it up now, but Capoeira is a fact that they've won the last 5 rounds in a row. It's an easy rebuy for them as well. So this is one of the best buys we've seen from both teams at the same time.
Indeed it is, as the ops definitely came into play last round. Also, Showtime doing some great work at A, which is not a spot he normally plays. He's always played B in all that I've ever seen him play. So he's kind of been, you know, an interesting new role for himself, trying to see what he can do, which is, I guess, the role he'll play if SK are going to keep the same, you know, setup with Fur being out and Showtime kind of replacing him. So maybe getting a little bit of practice playing that at that bomb site. And we are seeing so far an even exchange for just a moment there, but GK is actually a man down once more. So this CT side starting to try to reel this thing back in. Bond's alone on Fallen at the B apartments, so he's well separated from the rest of his team.
Don't know why it's always giving me a giggle every time I look at short and see that just lonely bar stool by itself. I don't know what's going on with that, but still a minute to play with. 4 plays 3, make that 4 plays 2. As Taco has been picked up. Bomb's still in the hands, however, of the very safe Fallen with his AWP. Flamey accompanies him, both in mid, both trying to funnel their way through connector. It is one of the least covered spots, I guess you could say, but there is a player on the catwalk, which is going to be Coldzera, and he could definitely get himself a frag here. He's going to be peeking around right here, right now, but as soon as I switch across to him, he actually ends up getting wrecked instantly by Flamey's hands, and now with that pick on B, It would appear that Capoeira just want to push their way onto the site itself. Flamey has 8 damage, however, and it looks as though Seized is there and he's waiting dust.
Indeed he is, and we are going to see Fallen leading the charts. They've actually got this into a winnable situation now. If they can find this player inside the site, Flamey will sniff him out and the bomb will go down. So it's actually played back into a 2-on-2, surprisingly enough. Showtime trying to charge out here quickly, but Fallen there to trade with the Op, and now it's a 1v1 Op versus Op in close range. Simple versus Fallen. Two titans with these weapons going head-to-head here to see who's going to close out this round. Simple just trying to hold this corner. Fallen searching for him. Spots out the barrel, but can't land the shot. Both miss. Now the pistol's out for Fallen, and they're just dancing around this side. It's getting real crazy here. Simple trying to tap the bomb to draw Fallen out. He will, but it's going to spell the end for him. And so there you have it. Somehow this GK team, we're going to call him GK. How about that? I feel like I'm going to screw up Capoeira one time, and it's going to be hell.
It's alright, mate. We'll forgive you. When Full missed that first shot, though, when he saw the barrel of the gun sticking through, I feared the worst for him. I thought that clutch was going to go south very quickly, but he did manage to salvage the situation. Now, Uchiha onto a force. It is a fairly decent buy, but there's a distinct lack of grenades, a distinct lack of firepower, barring the AWP. Just a CZ in the hands of C's. But they've got the first 2 frags. So, once again, Counter-Strike, throwing a couple of spanners in the works. And it's going to put GK on a bit of a downward trend, you'd have to feel.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and you can tell that they're just having fun right now. I mean, they're just running out. They're just taking crazy fights that you probably normally wouldn't take. So it's just, I think, a bit of them just kind of letting loose. I know that they've been playing like more serious matches the past couple of days, and I think outside of the show matches we've watched on stream, they've probably put in a good amount of, training and practice sessions in, which I think is just it gives Showtime valuable experience for the short time that he'll sub in for this team before Fur returns. And also, Navi trying to break in a new lineup, it's Simple added on, and trying to figure out leadership, I think, is also a big thing for them now that coaches have been nerfed severely, and they were going to rely on StarX, I think, a lot for that. So, there's a lot that they need to work on as well. So I think it's actually kind of a cool little idea to take one of these little boot camps before the tournament start up again.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, we've had a bit of a downtime. I think we had E-League and before that ECS, but apart from that, no real top tier tournaments. So we'll be getting right back into that very shortly. So this is the perfect time, I would say. I agree with you to get a boot camp to try and get that cohesion down once more. Fallen pushing onto the site, but it was a fake. Taco is going to try and make the most of this situation as the bulk of the CTs had rotated, but Showtime's AK is more than enough to fend off the push. Simple, 12 and 7 top fragging, but Edward and Fallen both with 10s. Pretty decent stuff as the CTs trail by 2 rounds.
Yeah, pretty close game, given what we've seen thus far. We've seen rounds trading back and forth lately as well, so both teams' economies are in the bin pretty much. Trying to see who's going to be able to salvage it at this point, as we are going to, again, see that bomb head towards upper B. Players at A ramp and Palace as well, so pretty well spread out, just looking to see if they can't find any type of aggression from the CT side, which they've been doing quite a lot. We've definitely seen Simple, Showtime, etc. players from that team, look and take fights early at middle or kind of push something down, so they're just trying to be aware of that, make sure that that's going on, which in fact we do see Uchiha playing pretty passive with the exception of Guardian, who actually now is pushing out top mid with the op.
The problem is, though, that Fallen had already read the script. He was a couple of chapters ahead, and he just laid in wait, free frag overall for the terrorists, losing no health, and around that they were struggling. And we've seen this back and forth, but both teams have been having these sort of bargain bucket force buys. But this time it's going to be GK who seemed to get the most of it off the back of that dropped AWP, which could also be picked up in mid when they start to take control of this. But the only downside is they don't really have the smokes to do this, and that's going to allow Simple now to go for the peak instead. Meanwhile, the bomb's still transitioning its way over on the B side, and Simple seems to have read the situation. They can still dart through underpass towards connector if they so choose, the terrorists. They're not forced into this, but it seems like Simple has read this perfectly.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be in the right position right now with that op, sitting on top of the van, just waiting for that first-person peek, which will be Taco, and he will land the shot. He does begin the fallback. Oh my, what a nice shot there on the FNX on the corner of the window, but it seems like GK are still going to try to keep pressing through, but Simple just keeps knocking them down left and right. And now that's it. I mean, we saw that last little late mid-push come in, but Season Company was there to prevent that from happening, so Simple just landing some nice shots.
Yeah, it was beautiful, wasn't it? Clinic on how to rotate and then use that ult perfectly into the B-apps. He also nearly got a third frag in a row, landing the shoulder shot, I think it was, dropping a player very low to about 10 HP. And finished off another. So great work for Simple. 15 frags, really opening things up. And showing why a lot of people were interested if he would be the secondary AWPer on NAVi before we found out about Seized. So that's the crazy thing, right? Like, they have 3 AWPers who can use it to crazy good effect.
Yeah, I was actually really surprised to see that kind of thing come out, that it was in fact still going to be Seized. I really thought Simple would be kind of a shoo-in to be a secondary op on that team, just when you see the type of impact that he can have with it. But I'm sure there will be situations where he does find one in his hands, if I had to imagine, because I have seen this trend with NAVi over the few Pro League matches that they've played, where you have seen them really open up and be more explosive, and they make Simple a part of their main game plan. I feel like Liquid, when he played with them outside of rounds where he would opt, they would just kind of send him by himself on one end of the map and just kind of let him do his thing, where I feel like NAVi actually really incorporates him into the game plan a lot more. So maybe you could still see it a little bit, but getting back into this one, this is just a really fast connector split from GK.
Showtime, though, does go for aggression himself, trying to get through into ramp, but he falls down alongside Guardian, who's in jungle. So that's 2 pivotal positions on A site that have been taken away from the CTs. Now funnels Simple onto CT boxes. He's going to have coldzera coming up from behind. Seized is still in jungle, but he's eating damage. This is looking so poor for the counter-terrorist. Chia looking to maybe bow out of this round. Couldn't really blame coldzera if he decides to just back away towards B and try and save this, but GK have already thought about this, and they're trying to transition away through there as well. Simple lands a tasty no-scope, point-blank range, executing Taco. Throws out the smoke as well to play some mind games, but the bomb is planted in a perfect position where the terrorists are currently residing. There's no hope for Simple. I mean, the best-case scenario is he holds onto the AWP, and even that is looking like it's going to be a difficult task.
Indeed it isn't. It won't happen. And we're going to pick him up. And so, yeah, just a really fast connector split there from GK. There wasn't any hesitation about that one, right? Just line up the smokes at middle and just plowed on through. And so they're going to make it 7-6. So still a pretty tight race of a game. But I just feel like the slight edge has gone to GK, really just because of how often, I think they've reset the CT's economy, 3 or 4 times this game. So that's been kind of a big thing. But now we see the triple op set up. coldzera going to chime in with his now as well. But Simple will draw first blood over here at middle, taking down Taco.
Yeah, good spawn for Simple. Managed to convert it into the frag onto ramp. Thing is, though, Showtime has died on A in amongst all the chaos, and this now allows Flamey to force his way out and get a lot of information for his team. If he can also get round the side towards Connector and get himself another frag, and this is a massive power play for the terrorists. And it looks like he'll do just that, though. Simple spins around and takes out Flamey. Had no right to land that kill. Flamey had the drop on him. But, as it stands, it's now a 1-on-4 as Fallen's teammate of FNX gets shut down from the very aggressive play from Guardian. Good luck to you, Fallen, sir. He does have the bomb, but it's been spotted from the CT, so know roughly where Fallen's going to have to traverse to.
Yeah, he's going to have to try to get past Seized first, who is actually pushing through middle right now. Fallen seems to be somewhat aware of it, scoping in, just making sure no one's pushing upper. Will he check the lower, though? He does, and he does land that shot. He still has a decent amount of time as well, and I wouldn't put it past Fallen to pull off a 1v3. Going to be difficult, of course, but he certainly has a skill set to do it.
Oh, definitely. This guy is insanely good. Problem is, though, that he's not aware of the position. Simple misses a shot and he's going to get punished. 23 seconds. This is now doable. Plus the fact that the CTs is split up. I was about to say it would be 2 separate 1v1s, but coldzera sat up on the perch of Tollbooth will rain down with the AWP, shutting down the dreams. 7-7, neck and neck, but a poor buy in the last round of the half for GK.
Yeah, heads up duels against Fallen are hard enough. You happen to miss your shot, it's pretty much a done deal at that point. But luckily for the CT side, coldzera was able to finish that one out. So we're in the last round of the half. GK forcing up what they can, but it's not a whole heck of a lot, and Edward has already been taken down by the op of Guardian as they're looking to try to get inside this A-bomb site here. They get a couple of entries, though, so they've got it back into a 3 versus 3. The bomb is making its way in.
FNX dancing.
Oh,
what? Guardian? Did he just go the 2v1?
Yes, he did. That was incredible. He jumped off the stairs. No one even noticed that he took a shot. He missed his first shot as he was falling down. No one seemed to pick up on the fact that he was at Sandwich, and then he just lines up a 2-for-1 and gets the 3rd kill in the end as well. I think that was a quad kill round for him in total. So, yeah, what a play. Hi, Reddit. There you go. What a 2-for-1. You hardly ever see 2-for-1s in a situation like that. That was pretty incredible.
Unreal.
Indeed.
So let's have a look how the scores are filling out. Simple 20 and 10. Not a bad first half performance on the CT side. Of course, not quite as easy to land the frags on T's. The way he was playing very stationary. Well, with the AWP. Well, I'll take nothing away from him. Still very well played. But she have Simple looking like he could very well just be waiting for the push up mid while the rest of his team are going towards the B apps. And Taco is there laid in wait with the USP. How much damage can he do? There's the first frag, but he's going to get picked off straight away from Guardian afterwards. And now Simple's going to start to make a trek through the short side. Just get that two-pronged attack in effect. coldzera, meanwhile, is trying to still take this site. It's not a formality at this point. The CT is still in good enough position and buying up enough time for the other two to try and get their way through Connector. The bomb, by the way, is heading to Connector right now, and it's going to go right into the hands of the counter-terrorist. Fallen's going to take down the frag, and now let's leave Simple with a couple of frags to try and pick up. There's the first one. He gets taken down afterwards. 2-on-2. What a strange round of Counter-Strike this turned out to be. But still anybody's round.
Yeah, it was like a heavy B pressure where the bomb goes down in Connector, and it just kind of turned the round on its head. Now it's all up to Edward. 17 HP. Knows where the bomb is. Got to worry about Guardian. He hears him jumping around on the catwalk. He does land the headshot. Now he's got to worry about old coldzera, who is in the window room now, lurking around to the jungle. Edward seems to have a general idea about this, but the timing may not work in his favor, the way that he's peeking these positions.
He's checking every corner, isn't he? Edward is so low, but lands the headshot. And King Capoeira, or Ginger Capoeira.
Ginger Capoeira.
How do you even say that, mate? Ginger.
I have no idea.
Capoeira,
that's why I just decided that we would call them GK. From this point forward.
They need to pick up the second pistol and equalize it.
Yep.
The good old Ginger Capoeiras, mate.
It's actually funny because the way these rosters were picked, once again, everyone gets to play their normal CT spots. Edward off Cat, Taco anchoring B, Fallen floating around, FNX and Flammy on the A-bomb site. So they'll get in all their comfort zones, and then maybe that'll allow them to kind of stream ahead as we are seeing the force buy here from the T side, which is working out quite well, by the way. The Deagles of Guardian and coldzera both found the mark. So they actually have a 4-on-3 situation going on here, but FNX has pushed out Palace. He's going to get some information, but oh my goodness.
Oh, he got wrecked. He got absolutely dumpstered. Guardian with a Deagle up against the FAMAS, and the Deagle rains out. He did get wrecked for 91 health, but Flamey will be he'll be definitely a bit red-faced after that. Taco, in the meanwhile, is coming up short, and he's going to meet his demise to another Deagle. In the meanwhile, FNX rotating through the T-spawn, only an MP9 though, so even out of the weapons that GK had coming into this, he's probably got the poorest of them. Nice jump headshot though, something you never want to say in Counter-Strike.
Yep, the game's totally fine.
Okay then. Brilliant.
Totally fine.
Oh
my
is on for
goodness.
it as well, and look where Showtime is. I will say
no way he expects this though.
Yeah, he absolutely will not expect Showtime to be behind him at this point.
Well,
he's made noise.
Oh, he can just defuse it.
Going to be throwing out the incendiary. How close is that defuse? It must be so close. It is going to be taken by FNX. He gets burnt to a crisp afterwards, but the clutch is real.
Oh my.
How?
As soon as he noticed that Showtime was there, he knew he had the round. The incendiary could have been the deal breaker, but it just didn't do the damage fast enough where it landed. And so there you have its classic FNX clutching ability. That's what he's known for on this team, is just kind of being that stable rock player, but also being very good in the clutch. And he pulls out one there for GK. So we're going to see them take the lead, 9-8 now. So the rounds have traded. The way that was working out, I thought the Deagles were about to come out big for Uchiha, but FNX reels that one back in. A couple of jumping MP9 shots later, and here we are.
Trade out, though. Terrorists will be relatively happy with that. Other than the fact that Simple's been dropped down to 8, now that Showtime's got picked off, it doesn't bode too well for them. It amazes me no one was watching Connector. Flaming up on the little box there, looking into Palace. Very nearly gets picked off. He's down to 7. A grenade will take him out, or a bullet to the head. That'll work as well. And in the meanwhile, Fallen has moved onto the CT boxes. And with a lack of smoke, he's going to be difficult to get rid of. The flashbang deters him for now, but he can easily go back in there if he so chooses. Bomb planted. And Capoeira, I feel, will be favourites to maybe retake this site. I think it all comes down to C's and Edward here. If Edward gets shut down, which he has, then it allows the terrorists to now funnel all their attention onto the CT boxes. Coldzera's holding the angle, and Taco goes down to 12. This has now got very difficult for the CTs. In all honesty, with their lack of economy, lack of funds, they may just think about backing away and saving these 2 weapons. So Chia have somehow held on to this round that looked like it could be slipping away.
Yeah, we're going to have a difficult time getting back in there, especially since Simple actually was able to make it all the way to middle, and the bomb was actually planned for connector, so that would have been kind of the checkmate move. Even if GK gets the kill on the Coldzera up close in the sight, you have Simple just waiting for them at the connector, so they will even it back up, and so, you know, no real winning streak is going on this half, right? I mean, we had all that damage being done by Uchiha in that previous round that they lost thanks to FNX's clutch, but now they cash in here, and you can see that because of it, GK is absolutely wrecked on economy. They still buy down to what they can, but, you know, several of their players now after this round, if they lose it, will have no money next round. So this is where Uchiha can really start stringing the rounds together. So you're going to see them putting some pressure at the upper B apartment. C's checking on underpass as well, which Taco has actually pressed up there. I don't know if they'll be able to get him down, or if they'll be able to use that smoke to get out of there, but they certainly could give him trouble. He actually has to run through the fire, takes a lot of damage, but does get away.
Man, that was a lot of utility expended as well, though, from the terrorists to try and force him down. That being said, when you look at the utility on the side of the CTs, they have very little to play with. It's only Taco who has the double flashes and HG, so if he went down there, they'd have by and large absolutely nothing. That grenade, though!
Ooh.
Edward's like, cheers, mate. Thanks for that. Brilliant. Spy on the team. He's been bribed, boys. Confirmed. Guardian's going to be pushing through connector. And with 2 forward positions assumed by Capoeira on the balcony and just outside of Tetris, and a player on CT, this could be a decent crossfire set up with the pistols.
Oh, yeah. They've absorbed this pressure really well. Like, even though that they've given up, you know, middle and connector, they have all the perfect positions to deal with this with Flamey and FNX pushed up so up close with these CZs. Fallen can just focus on connector with the op. They definitely have a good setup here. It's going to be hard to break.
1-for-1 so far, but Fallen still has his AWP intact, so he's going to be very difficult to get rid of. Flamey, meanwhile, with double CZ frags. C's is trying to hold down against 2 players, and wow, I thought that the CTs would be favourites, but I didn't think they'd take it out with 4 players remaining. I thought it would be a real grind, a real bloodbath towards the end of the round, but no, fair play. They hold on very firmly, and now Uchiha into a force spy. It's going to include some pistols and a couple of AKs. Now it's their turn to feel the burn. They've got only 1 player with grenades, only 1 smoke on the board.
Yeah, Showtime, the only one with a nade set. As you noted, he is going to be over towards that A-bomb site. Simple, just playing alone with that Deagle over towards upper B. Maybe just looking to see if he can't find a pick, but A seems to be where they want to head. And FNX and Flamey playing more passive, just towards CT spawn and stairs. And of course, Fallen has that op. He could easily rotate the CT spawn. So unless they smoke him out with Showtime smoke, he's going to be able to have free reign on this execute.
So far, Capoeira playing very passively, not wanting to give anything away. Not sure if they've read the economic situation at this point. Fallen will chime in for the first kill. Spots a couple of players darting through. And Flamey is good for a frag as well. So they've held off the push so far. Now the bomb in the hands of Showtime is all that remains. 1 on 3 with a Deagle. He's going to pop flash his way out, try and explode onto the site if he can. Spots the head of Fallen, but if you miss a shot on Fallen, chances are you're not going to get a second chance. And Fallen moves to his 20 bomb. Simple had 20 kills at the start of this half. Since then, he hasn't really got too many, just the 3. But his team trailed by 2 rounds.
Indeed, they do, and money again still low on that Terra side. So once more, you will just see them with a couple of upgraded pistols, no utility. We do see a couple streaming out middle, but Fallen posted up with the op will make quick work of Simple. The other 3 are looking towards that upper B apartments, but Taco will be there, of course. Now Edward's actually pushing out Catwalk, and he will just take down Guardian. So they're just kind of getting bullied by the aggression now. Even Taco finds one. So, I mean, this round's pretty much all but done.
I really do feel that Edward is one, if not the best Catwalk player on Mirage. The guy is just absolutely nuts. Yesterday, he was single-handedly holding that against 3 or 4 players. Showtime had the drop on Flamey, but I mean, it's a P250. He tried his best. Gets taken down. A clean sweep for Capoeira, so that's just more funds in the bank.
Yeah, Edward's always been really good in that position. It's actually crazy because NAVi was one of the first teams I would see where they would move, like, even before now, where window isn't really used as much by CT operators as it used to be. Now they just kind of maybe move the connector or move to a site, since they usually just get smoked out anyhow. But in the past, it was a big meta just to have your opera play window, but Edward would actually play it, and Guardian would float around with the op. They're one of the first teams to do that. So Edward, my point is, has always had a lot of responsibility on this area of the map, and he's always, you know, excelled at it, as you noted. So definitely good on him that round. And we are going to see guns finally back in the hands of Uchiha, though. So we're going to see if they can't make something happen, because they're running out of time. You know, you lose a couple more rounds, it's map point for GK. So this is kind of a do-or-die situation for them at this point. After such a close first half, GK has really taken control of the game. They've won 5 of the 6 rounds so far in this half. So that's where we're at.
Yeah, no small task. They've been performing very solidly on the CT side. There's been a couple of warning shots from Uchiha, but typically the CTs have dodged them. Bomb still traversing its way towards B. 55 seconds left. Mid-control has been assumed by the terrorists. Problem, however, is that they haven't got rid of Edward on short, and he is going to consistently be an issue. There is smoke, though, on top of the bar stool. It's still there. Good on you, bro. And the smoke into B apps, and he's going to fend off the push for now. There is a small gap in it, though, which Simple is going to try and make the most of. But the player didn't actually come up on the van, so he's going to be okay for now. Now here comes the execute onto the A site, but it's a fake. The bomb is still in B apps, and the question now is, are the CTs going to bite onto this bait? And the answer seems to be no. Taco and Edward are still on the B side of the map, but Edward's been picked off, leaving Taco all by his lonesome. He's going to get sprayed down, leaving FNX in a 1-on-2. He's going to be coming from the short side. There is enough time for the bomb plant, but 10 seconds to go. It does get planted finally. But this is a rough ask for FNX. We have seen him clutch from harder situations than this, though, today. Sees what? Gets wrecked through the boxes, but coldzera will avenge his fallen teammate and clutch the round. So, second round on the board for Uchiha on their T side, at the cost of 4 lives, though.
I actually thought that the CTs had that round in the bag. I mean, FNX did such a great job at holding A by himself, but the big thing that happened there is, though he did get those 2 kills, they actually did force Fallen to rotate off of B into CT spawn, which kind of opened up B just a tad bit more. And then coldzera had just a crazy flank through window that no one saw coming that also had a big effect on the round. So all that combined, Uchiha do take it. Now it's 10-12. And now we do see the CT economy is stretched thin. In fact, whoever loses this round likely has to save the next. So this round may be kind of a 2-for-1 deal, which could be big for Uchiha to tie the game right back up, or for GK to extend their lead out quite a bit more. We do once again see this quick connector setup from Uchiha. They already have mid-control. Peeking up connector just a tad, but FNX has been able to catch some aggression there in Palace, and Simple misses the mark to trade him. And so Fallen will deliver the kill, and there you have it. Already 2 members down.
Gotta love that straight-up play from FNX. Even though he didn't get the second frag, the fact that he was even thinking about the possibility of someone pushing Palace just shows his in-game IQ is so high. It's going to be Guardian last main player remaining. The reason I say that is if you get a pick on someone in Palace who's looking out, the assumption is that they're going to go for a 2-pronged attack. So go for that preemptive spray in Palace through the smoke. Just makes a lot of sense. You know, there could be a player pushing up there, and of course there was. So it just goes to show what's going through the mindset of these players as the action unfolds. Now Uchiha, well, they're into pistols, as you said. Yeah, effectively a 2-for-1 round. It could even be more than that, since they've gone for a force.
Yeah, I mean, again, just FNX heads-up play from him on the A-bomb site once again. This time it actually leads to a victory, and now we're just going to see a quick rush up to the apartments, but they're just getting absolutely roasted right now. A smoke does come in to get rid of it, but already so much damage dealt to Showtime, and he will get eliminated, and now the kills just collect so rapidly, including a little bit of a wall shot there with some style points from Fallen, and so there you have it, 14-10, and money's still quite low for Uchiha, so this could finally be that breaking point where the CT side here are finally going to put this first map away.
It's kind of a comedy of errors there. The Molotov, the Sentry went in, and I think it was Showtime's flashbang, or someone behind him, that tried to pop flash, bouncing off the wall and then just exploding outside the window, that went awry. So actually landed in the face of the terrorists. They're burning alive, couldn't see a single thing. coldzera, though, in the smoke, just above Edward. Could be death from above. FNX is going to spray through there, and it's going to be Fallen who takes down the frag. And now Guardian, in the meanwhile, has managed to get himself onto the A site, as have the rest of the terrorists, just fearing no man. Pushing through, AK-47 in the hands of Showtime could be the determining factor. But he's going to fall down as well, and everyone I'm switching to dies instantly. The curse of the commentator is real, sees the next to fall, and the terrorists somehow get a bomb plant, which honestly is mission accomplished, but
Yeah.
it's going to be 15-10, so they're going to have to win out from here on in.
I mean, they've certainly caused enough pressure from middle to kind of cause anyone connector to actually pay attention to that, which allowed them to spill out of the palace to get into the site. But, you know, once the mid pressure actually gets killed off, and now you have everyone with guns on GK being able to just turn back around to the A site and fight, you know, 2 or 3 guys just stuck in the site with pistols, it's going to be a bad time. And so now they're at map point. Uchiha see if they can't make the glorious comeback for an overtime, as they are once again getting very quick up middle with Guardians op here. But Showtime has been found out already, and now Edward pushing up. Catwalk finds one, almost lines up another through the smoke, but Seas does at least reel it back in a bit, but there's still a man down.
Remember that Uchiha have to win out from here. coldzera, headshot. On towards FNX. Fallen has played crazy Counter-Strike, as he did, to be fair, the last time. I was going to say these two teams played each other, but of course they're mixed up. The last time that NAVi and SK faced one another a couple of days ago on Mirage, he dropped to 30, even though his team lost. So it goes to show he's very comfortable in this map. Does a great job with the AWP. Split up attack from the terrorists, pretty much on the opposite sides of the map right now. So could be a case of coldzera trying to sell the fake on B, while Simple navigates his way through to the A side. Yeah, coldzera's trying to make noise over on the B apps. It doesn't look like Capoeira are falling for this, though. They've still got 2 players on, although it looks like Fallen's about to rotate away from CT boxes. He's caught in 2 mines. Simple now going to take this opportunity to get into sandwich. Flamey on firebox. But now coldzera's getting round the back. The question is, does he have enough time to actually rotate all the way around into CT and cause some issues? Fallen has been spotted, but Simple's missed his opportunity, given his position away, and I will notice that now the bomb is going to be dropped onto the A site, leaving coldzera in a 1-on-3 with 20 seconds to play with to try and save Uchiha on Mirage. Flashbang landing in his face, but it's Fallen that lands the final frag, and he is 1 shy of a 30, finishes on 29 and 12.
Yeah, so what a game we just got to witness, kind of a mixed team between SK and NAVi.